What's up, guys? So today's video should also be nice and quick. Let's just get right into it. So essentially, intraday, the SPY was showing some strength, right? What ended up happening around 12:30, news out of Ukraine and Russia came out. Basically, Zelensky was telling Putin to stop attacking nuclear power plants. So that caused the market to dramatically fall from around 428 to 425.50-ish area. What ended up happening afterward is we ended up popping right back up to 428 throughout the rest of the day. So then we ended up closing like this. So this isn't necessarily a super bearish setup, right? We held support. We made some sort of a doji candle here. We held this level of support. We double tapped 424.50 and we moved up higher. So this is technically still bullish, right? Now, ideally, what bulls really want to see is a close above 429.55. One of these days, they really want to see a close above this level, and then we can end up going much higher. Much higher to the 200 simple moving average, because the 200 simple moving average is also falling. All right, so still we're in this range between 424 to 430, and to get a really solid close above the range would be very important. So essentially that's what we need to see happen on the SPY, and we saw there was strength coming out of the market still. So there was still a lot of buying volume, like intraday. Bulls didn't allow it to fall. Yes, the market was choppy, but they maintained price above support. And that's the most important thing, especially moving forward. And also another important thing is that the 10 simple moving average has now moved up all the way to around this very important support level at around 422. So I was saying 422 to 423 is also a very important level of support. The 10 simple moving average is caught up. So we could also see that the MACD cooled off. It was extremely overbought, cooled off, and it's now technically oversold just a little bit, right? Which is a really good sign for a continued move to the upside. So this is essentially what bulls really want to see, right? And I would argue a close on the daily candle, either above or below, would signify a continued move in that same direction. So that's what we just basically need to watch for. When you take a look at the NASDAQ, sort of the same concept, but it's an issue here because like 330 is resistance. We couldn't really close above 330. You can see the NASDAQ is showing much more weakness relative to the SPY, right? So once again, 330 is support, 330 is resistance. For tomorrow, the trend line support is 327 on the NASDAQ. So we have to keep that in mind. 327. That is going to be a very major level of support for the NASDAQ. In the live stream, everything, just remember 327 on the NASDAQ is super important support. If we break that, then this uptrend is broken. This uptrend is broken if we close below 327 tomorrow. So, and we're getting very close. So things can get very interesting very soon. We see that the MACD is very oversold, much more oversold than the MACD on the SPY. You can also see the RSI is much lower than the SPYs as well. But overall, the NASDAQ is a bit weaker, right? But when you take a look at the IWM is a bit stronger. It still closed above yesterday's open, whereas the NASDAQ did not. The MACD also looks very strong, and this is a really good sign continued, right? So 199.66, essentially 200 is still going to be the main level of resistance moving forward. I didn't look at so the 200 simple moving average is still acting as a very important level of resistance on the IWM, and the 10 SMA, which is this yellow line, has caught up, right? We didn't get a chance to look at that on the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ's 200 simple moving average is much higher, right? So there's a lot more room to the upside if the market can maintain its bullishness. So if the SPY and the IWM can maintain their bullishness, The NASDAQ has a lot more percentage to gain to the upside relative to what the SPY and the IWM are. And you can see the 10 simple moving averages acting as clear-cut support, multiple taps on the NASDAQ. So now if 327 breaks to the downside, that is going to be a very, very bad sign for bulls. Let's go back to the IWM. You could see we're getting very, very tight. It's a very, very tight move about to happen. And essentially tomorrow and Monday are going to be very, very important for the overall trajectory for the market. Things are getting tight. Things are holding support, but they're also not crossing above resistance. So until that happens, we'll get a much better understanding of which direction the market is going to go. So days when the market does not have a clear, defined direction are much more choppier, because day trades don't necessarily work as fluidly, because it becomes a battle essentially between different funds and different strategies. And depending on which strategies are working more, other funds are looking towards different strategies, and they have their own algorithms in place to update their own algorithms based on the algorithms of other hedge funds. And essentially, when there's no consensus, right, and when algorithms have to update, when there's no clear direction, there tends to be choppy price action. But when the majority of funds and majority of players are looking to buy the dip and are looking to play momentum to the upside, the markets move much more fluidly. But on days like this, when there isn't as much fluidity, it's because there's not as much consensus in supply and demand among the bigger players in terms of market direction as well. So that is one of the things I hope will be solved either on Friday or Monday, depending on which direction we end up closing on the daily candles. All right, so I hope this video helped. Make sure to follow me, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.